Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cerise Fairfax. I'm coming at you from the north coast of the Dominican Republic, in a municipality by the name of Sosua, and a province by the name of Puerto Plata, and a little neighborhood called Los Cheramicos. I live where I love, and I love where I live. Today is story time. And this is a very interesting story indeed. All right, so lately in Sosua, there has been a lot of cleanup going on. They call it cleanup because what they're doing is they're cleaning up the streets from working women, prostitution. And so what they're doing is they want to clear out the roads for more tourists to come in, and they want to make it more family friendly. Now, before that, were there a lot of working girls? Yes, there was. But every single working girl has a different story. So I've been speaking to a few, and not only the ones that are actually getting cleared out, but some of them who are actually in the United States. They were working girls back in the day, and they are speaking out, and they are leaving me messages, and they're talking to me. Now, this one comes from a woman who was she's in her 40s. And she said to me, she said, you know, Cerise, when I was very, very young, I can remember Pedro Clisanate. She's from Sosua. And she said, I can remember Pedro Clisanate. And then when I would go back and visit, spoiler alert, she moved a while ago. But she said, when I would go back and visit, especially in the last few years, it wasn't the same Sosua. And she said it seemed a little uncomfortable to even walk up and down the streets. She's like, you know what, Cerise? Regardless, everyone knows it's not the same Sosua, especially since the creep cams have been coming in, which was one of the main reasons why this has really started, Operation Atlantico. She said to me, Cerise, I sit sometimes in New York and I want to turn on the TV and go on YouTube, but I can't go on everybody's YouTube channel. She's like, back in the day, I could go on YouTube and I could see someone, you know, just kind of showing Sosua and what it looks like and how it's growing. She's like, but then anytime I would turn it on certain channels, I would see some of these young guys videoing the girls. And she said, and it makes me feel sick for two reasons. One, because they're making Sosua look like that's all what Sosua is about. She said, two, because they're exploiting the women. She said that when she was on the streets way back in the day, 20 years ago, well, 15 years ago, she said that if anyone videoed her, she would have grabbed that camera and hit them with it. She said to me straight up, she's like, Cerise, a lot of these girls didn't even know they were being videoed. And that is exactly why my people have to come in and clean out the street, because it's calling in people who are very creepy, perverted. She's like, at first they were going in to get young girls. Some of the guys, they would go in and get young girls. She's like, but then they cleaned that out. They made sure that the young girls are being protected from some of the creepy, tourists. She said, but then for a while there, you know, Americans going in, good people going in, Germans, Italians, she said Canadians from all around the world, they were going in and everything was fine. Pedro Clisanate was great 15, 12 years ago. She said, but then all of a sudden, watching YouTube has turned her off of her own place. And whenever she visits here now, she doesn't even go on Pedro Clisanate. She goes to Santo Domingo, she goes to Santiago, or she'll go to Gaspar Hernandez. She says she'll go on the Sosua beach, but that's as far as she will go. She will not go on Pedro Clisanate because she doesn't recognize how it looks any longer. But she wanted you guys to know how she got into prostitution in the first place. She says when she was a very young girl, she used to have an aunt, and her aunt was the one who actually sponsored her to go to New York. So she had an aunt. Her aunt has since passed on. So her aunt went to New York with an American man. This man was always going and doing business in Sosua and also in Santo Domingo and Santiago. And he met her aunt in a cafe. And when he met her aunt, he's like, wow, you're going to be my wife. I like you. So the aunt was like, just, oh my gosh, this is so great. This is so wonderful. And the aunt took off right away to New York with this man, married him. They had children. And so what the aunt would do when she would visit back here in Sosua, she would visit her niece, which is the woman who gave me the story. We're going to name her Maria just for confidentiality purposes. So her aunt would bring gifts for Maria, and her aunt would bring like DVDs with movies on them, and she would bring music and, gifts from the United States that she would want her niece to have. So she brought one movie, and that movie was called Pretty Woman. And she said that was her first introduction into prostitution. Now, she said at first, of course, she used to see prostitutes every now and again. She knew a lot of chapeadoras. She said her own mother used to go and date Americans and see what she could get, but she never really looked at it as being on the stroll. She never really looked at it as giving her body up for money, as a career, as a profession. She said she just kind of looked at it as a means to get something in the meantime with her own people. But when she saw Pretty Woman, the movie, she's like, oh, I want to go to Rodeo Drive. She said, oh, I want pretty things. I want to meet a millionaire too. And in her child mindset, she thought to herself, her aunt went to the United States with that man, and her mom gets money from foreigners. And she thought, yes, she's going to make a career out of it, and she's going to meet a millionaire. And the man that she meets is going to save her. So her mom actually met a man, and her mom met a German man. Now, the German man wanted to move back to Germany, and he told this young girl when she was 16 years old and the mom, come on, you're going to Germany now. The girl went to Germany with her mom and also this man, and she didn't like Germany. She was learning German. She liked the people. She liked the food, but she was really missing the Dominican Republic. She was missing living here completely. So her mom sent her back here to be with her grandmother, and her mom said, okay, you know what? You can finish school in the Dominican Republic, take care of your grandmother, and everything will work out fine. And, when you want to come to Germany to visit, you can come anytime if you change your mind. And it worked out for everyone. So the girl came back here. She was only in Germany for like 4 or 5 months. She was still 16 years old when she came back here to the Dominican Republic. But her mom was sending her money. Her aunt was still coming and visiting her, and she was well taken care of, but she still wanted everything that she saw on like the movies. At this time, she didn't have the internet. She didn't have like a cell phone or anything of that nature, but she used to see American movies, and she spoke English. So she said one day she decided that she was going to go into Sosua near Pedro Clisanate, and she was going to try to see if she can get a man. And she did. She said it was such a great experience. She was only 16. She lied about her age. So she says she knows that guys will get with minors. Even after they found out her age, like she would lie about her age, and then they would be like, are you sure you're, of age, you're 18? And she would say to them, no, I'm only 16. And they would be like, okay, don't say anything. And they would give her more money to keep her quiet. And she said eventually she did that for 5 years. From the age of 16 to the age of 21. And then she said she realized at that point that she was tired. And she realized at that point too that there's not a lot of millionaires going on Pedro Clisanate. She felt like a lot of them had money and a lot of them were generous, but they weren't giving her the money that she had in her eyes, that she had her heart set on, like millions. So she thought to herself, all right, well, she's just going to continue to work along, plug along, try to get some jobs in the bar, try to get some jobs on the beach, and work along and save her own money and see if she can get herself some better clothes and also just live the life of luxury eventually. Well, what happened was she did meet a foreigner man, and he kept promising her that he was going to take her to Canada. He was a Canadian. And he kept telling her, I'm going to take you to Canada. Don't worry. I just have to make sure that everything's settled there. And he would show her photos of his home. He would show her photos of where she's going to live, and he would tell her that he's getting the process done for her. And, he lied to her a lot. And the photos that he was showing her were not photos of his home. They were photos from a magazine. And how she found out was she actually did end up going to Canada at one point. Now, when he took her to Canada, he took her as a guest. And he invited her as a guest, and she went, and he kept her in a hotel the whole entire time. Now, the hotel was just like a Super 8 motel type of thing. So it wasn't like a beautiful, Royal York downtown or like a Marriott or anything like that. But for her, it was still beautiful. It had a pool in it, and she felt like, wow, this is like a step above. At least it is the beginning of where she wants to go. And then she said that when he visited her, she came back here. She only went for a vacation for 2 weeks, and she came back. Now, she was thinking it would be just a matter of time before she gets to Canada. Now, when he came back for a visit, you know what he did? He had his whole suitcase full of magazines. And she was in his hotel room, and she was just relaxing. And he said to her, do me a favor. Can you, just, make something to eat for us in the room? I'm just going to go out, run a few errands. So she decided that she was going to go through his bags. Now, she said to me, Cerise, I didn't go through his bags because I was looking for anything to steal or to take. She said, I was just curious about him. And so I went through his bags, and I looked in his suitcase, and there was a zipper part, and I looked in the zipper part, and I opened it up, and there was a camera, and there were magazines, and there were photos. And some of the photos looked exactly like the front cover of the Home magazine. She said they were like home and decor magazines. And she looked, and she looked, and she thought, he's a liar. So she confronted him, and she's like, look, you're a liar. Look what you're doing. You're taking photos of houses, and this is what you do? And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, that's nothing. I don't do that. And she's like, you told me that, blah, blah. And she knew. Her gut told her. And then he said to her, he's like, you know what? Your mouth is too big anyway. I would never take you to any of my houses. They're all my houses. Those magazines, they come into my homes, and they take videos and photos of my home for those magazines. But you know what? I have other girls here, and those other girls, I will make sure that they make it to Canada. You won't. And he was demeaning her and putting her down. And she said after that, her heart was broken. And she just left. And she said she didn't steal anything from him. She didn't take anything from him. But she said she never, ever spoke to him again. And after that, she just decided that she was going to be a prostitute. And that's all she was ever going to be. Until her aunt sent for her. Her aunt said to her, because her grandmother died as well, and she was living in the family home here, and the family home also in Sosua, it was dilapidated. It was right here actually in Los Cheramicos. So she always says to me, thank you for videoing her area as well. And her aunt said, you know what, you're all alone there. There's nothing for you there. Come here to the United States. I'm going to put you through college, and I'm going to help you get an education. And she did that. She went to the United States with her aunt, and she went back to school, and now she is a lawyer. So her life turned around completely. And she said to me, Cerise, any of those girls on the street can make it. All they need is a little encouragement, a little love, and a little help. So at the end of the day, not all those girls that are getting cleared out are aimless. Many of them do have goals. Many of them have families. Many of them have children. And many of them have dreams. Take care, everyone. My name is Cerise Fairfax, and please check out my channel every Thursday for story time, every Tuesday for the news, but I also upload other videos randomly throughout the week. So look out for those too. If you subscribe and hit that like button, you'll be notified as soon as I do upload a video. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next video. Please be good to yourself out there. God bless you. I love you.
Woke up to the sunrise, paint in the sky, palm trees swaying like they're saying hi, coconut water dripping down my chin. Sosua mornings, let the day begin. I live where I love and I love where I live. Every moment here's got something to give. The rhythm of the islands in my soul, living the good life, feeling whole. Cerise rules her island charm. Locals teach me peace with no alarm. Mango sweet papayas in my hand, learning their ways I start to understand. I live where I love and I love where I live. Every moment here's got something to give. The rhythm of the islands in my soul, living the good life, feeling whole. Oh, dancing in the streets to the beat of the drum. Stories of the past from the old and the young. Traditions flowing like the waves in the sea. The north coast of Sosua, it's setting me free. Fishermen's boats coming back to the shore. Smiles all around, can't ask for more. This life's a treasure, a gift from above. In Sosua, I found a home to love. I live where I love and I love where I live. Every moment here's got something to give. The rhythm of the islands in my soul, living the good life, feeling old.